If you've just opened GoHighLevel and thought, where do I even start? You're not alone. But before we continue, one quick note. If you're already an experienced GoHighLevel user, or if you already understand pipelines, automations, custom value calendars, and how a customer journey works, you can probably skip this video and move directly to the practical lessons. This video is mainly for complete beginners, especially if GoHighLevel feels overwhelming right now, or if you're coming into this without a technical or business background. Because that's exactly where I started. When I first started learning GoHighLevel, I didn't come from a technical background. I didn't have experience building pipelines, automations, funnels, appointment systems, or other business systems. So when I first opened the platform, I saw so many different sections: contacts, opportunities, calendars, workflows, funnels, conversations, sites, automations, and I kept thinking, how does all of this actually connect? There are already many GoHighLevel tutorials available online, and a lot of them are very detailed. But as a beginner, I realized something. Before I learned how to create every individual feature, I first needed to understand the bigger picture. What is GoHighLevel actually doing for a business? Why do we need a pipeline? What is the difference between a contact and an opportunity? Why do we need workflows? What happens after somebody submits a form? What happens when somebody books an appointment? And what happens after that? The thing that finally helped me understand GoHighLevel was practice. Not just watching videos, actually opening the account, creating things, making mistakes, testing them, fixing them, and slowly understanding how everything connects. I recently went through that learning journey myself and completed the GoHighLevel certification. So, I created this crash course based on the way I wish somebody had explained GoHighLevel to me when I was starting. Let me quickly show you what I mean. This is an existing setup where you can already see things like contacts, opportunities, a pipeline, calendars, workflows, and other parts of the system. I'm showing you this only so you can understand the bigger picture. Don't worry about how any of this was created. I'm not going to ask you to copy something that has already been built, because in this course, we are going to start from the very beginning. Throughout this course, we're going to follow one simple method. First, I'll explain what something means. Then, I'll show you how it works. Then, we'll build it together. And finally, we'll test it. Because I don't want you to just remember where the buttons are. I want you to understand why you are clicking them and what happens afterward. Together, we'll start with the basic business setup, then create the pipeline, appointment calendar, inquiry form, workflows, landing page, and finally test the full patient journey. Let's look at this from the patient's side first. Imagine a patient has knee pain and finds our StratX Orthopaedic Clinic website. They submit an inquiry. A few moments later, they receive an automatic response from the clinic. They get the option to book an appointment with Dr. Smith. And once the appointment is booked, they can receive confirmations and reminders automatically. For the patient, the experience feels simple, but behind the scenes, several things can be happening inside GoHighLevel. When the patient submits that form, their contact can be created inside GoHighLevel. An opportunity can be added to the pipeline. That action can trigger a workflow. The workflow can send the response, help move the patient toward booking, send appointment confirmations and reminders, and later continue with follow-up. And this is the part I want you to understand. The website, form, contact, pipeline, workflow, and calendar are not completely separate things. They can work together as one connected customer journey. And throughout this course, we are going to build that journey step by step. And there is one thing I really want you to do throughout this course. Please, don't just watch. Practice with me. If I create a pipeline, create your pipeline. If I create a calendar, create your calendar. If I create a workflow, create your workflow. Pause the video whenever you need to. Make mistakes. Test things. Because the practical experience is what will actually help you understand GoHighLevel. And don't worry if you don't understand every term immediately. You don't need to. My goal is to simplify this as much as possible and help you understand the foundation first. Once you understand how the system works as a whole, learning the more advanced features becomes much easier. If you don't have a GoHighLevel account yet and you want to practice along with me, I've added a trial link below this video. And if your goal is to become officially GoHighLevel certified, I've also added the official certification link below. This crash course is not a replacement for the official certification training. Its purpose is to help you understand the platform, build practical experience, and make the next stage of learning much easier. So, in the next lesson, we're going to start with the most important question: what exactly is GoHighLevel? And before we start building anything, I'm going to show you how the major parts of the platform connect to each other. Once you understand that, GoHighLevel will already start feeling much less complicated. Let's begin.